Hello everybody, very warm welcome back to the channel. My name is Vic. I'm a painter in Gloucestershire in the UK. And today we're going to be taking a look at a very different painting. It's not going to be one of my paintings. You might be breathing a sigh of relief at that point. But before we go into that one, I'd just like to thank everybody for tuning in today. Thank you for your support and thank you for your kind comments. It really does mean a lot. And yeah, just really nice to know people are having a look at the work and perhaps like what they see. So let's go on to the painting in question. Now, everybody thinks that because I'm an abstract artist, I just like nothing but abstract. But I'm going to show you a painting which I own and is probably one of my favourite paintings. And this is it here. I'm hoping I'm going to manage to avoid too much reflection because there's a lot of reflection coming in from windows here, so I might move it around a couple of different angles and hopefully we'll strike something where you can actually see the detail. I bought this painting at auction. I bought it at auction, I would say good 10, not to say 15 years ago now. It's not in its original frame, obviously. I know it's been acquired in that frame at some point. I don't know much about the painting, except I just liked it wasn't so much the subject I liked actually, although it's kind of pleasing to the eye. What I really did like was the way it's been painted. I liked the lightness of it. It's I think it's done in oil. It's behind glass, so you get reflection. But I like the lightness of it. It's very, very delicate. But in the same way, the buildings are painted in a very positive manner, in that you can see the brush strokes, you can see the way the light is reflected on the buildings and like the brickwork and also the sails as well. It's going to take you in again. You almost do get a real kind of sense that you are stood there just actually looking out onto that scene. Now, one of the things I wanted to kind of talk about was that although I'm an abstract painter, in some kind of weird ways, there's not a huge sort of difference between when you paint something like this and when you paint abstract. Now, I have attempted to do landscapes. I have actually sold one landscape in my professional career, and it was of a river, a scene with trees and riverbank and such like, and it came out okay. People ask, well, why don't you do more kind of things like that? And I don't do them because I'm not saying it doesn't interest me, but I can't link it in to anything in my kind of mind. My mind kind of works in the way that I always listen to music when I paint. So I listen to music, it takes me back to a certain period in time, it brings back memories and things like that. I see shapes, buildings and things like that, kind of reproduces itself in the work that I do. Whereas if you're doing something like this, you're actually replicating, which is nothing wrong with that, you're replicating a scene in front of you. And obviously that's what you had to do years ago before you could actually take pictures. We had photographs and film. Before you could do that, that was the only way things like this could be replicated, which is absolutely understandable. But the way this is done is so delicate and with such a good hand that I just wanted this painting. I didn't pay much for it. I think I paid about 10 quid for it, something like that, £10. So I didn't pay that much at all. The actual painting, I've tried to kind of research it, but it's done by a Scottish painter, and I don't want to take it all apart now, but I did look at it. It had like the Scottish, might be talking rubbish here, Glasgow Academy of Art. There was like a movement, or probably still is an Academy of Art in Glasgow. And it was from somebody from there, because it had like the Glasgow art thing indicated after the name. But I don't know who it's by. So if you should look at this by chance and think, oh, I might know who that's by, please let me know. I'd be quite interested. But what I was going to go on to say about the actual painting is that when I tackle something like this, when I've had a go at replicating something like this, I'm looking at the outlines. So the way my brain actually works is I wouldn't actually see those buildings. If I'm actually trying to draw something like this, I don't see the buildings. What I actually see is the outline the buildings produce. I'll give you another example of this. What I actually see with maps is, if I'm looking at a map where there's land and sea, I will see the reverse. I'll see the sea as land and the land as sea. So if somebody's showing me something on a map and something I'm not familiar with, often I'll struggle to actually see the image I should be looking at. And it can be the same with objects. If it's something I don't actually recognise, something, say, taken out of context, I'll struggle to see the object. I'll see what's around it first. I'll see the background, but not the actual object. And I think there must be a name for it, but that's the way I see things. That if I can't work out what it is, I see the wrong thing first, if you know what I mean. So things like this interest me in that, although I obviously can see the detail and I can see the buildings, I'm actually interested in kind of the shapes that those things in the painting make. I'm interested in the shapes around the sails. I'm interested in the sky, the gradient, how the sky changes, how it's illuminated, how that sun's coming off the buildings. That's the kind of things I'm interested in, is the shading, the sensation it gives. So I kind of see this in a slightly different way probably than other people would do. Nonetheless, I still like it and I still appreciate it. And I have been lucky enough to have look at a lot of great artworks around the world in museums, and I will do that, and I do enjoy it. But I do see things in a slightly different way. But this was just something I kind of fell in love with when I saw this at auction. So I just thought I'd share that with you and just let you see that my collection of artwork isn't all my own, and got quite a diverse kind of sphere of appreciation for art. So there you go. So I guess one thing I would say, just to kind of prove a point really, is that if you like a particular genre of artwork, which is absolutely fine, by all means, yes, enjoy that and take that in, study it and hang it on your wall, whatever you want to do. But always be open to new things. So just because you don't like a certain style of work, doesn't mean to say if you go and take a look, you can learn something a little bit more about it. You might just kind of get sucked in, and then you'll start off on a whole new train of thought. I'll give you one further example of that. Was going back a few years ago, I went to the L.S. Lowry exhibition in the museum in Manchester. Never been a particular fan of his work, to be honest. I've always found it a bit kind of rough, almost kind of unfinished. And I'm probably being really, really, really not very complimentary to the man, because he obviously was a great painter. But once you actually got to know about him and you saw the variety of work and the different types of work that he did, it just changes your outlook on something. And then you see it in a slightly different way, and it puts a different slant on it. So when you look at something like a piece of artwork, if you want to delve a little bit deeper, you might find something that interests you. So always look at artwork with an open mind. And if you get the opportunity to go see something, go and have a look. Somebody told me years and years ago, if you're going to go and look at artwork, make sure it's great art. And that was probably one of the best pieces of advice I have ever had, in that there's lots of artwork out there, but be selective. Have a look at great masters, because you'll learn a lot from them and you'll get a lot back. So there we go. So that's the end of today's little episode. So thank you very much for joining me. I hope you found that interesting. And please, if you want to give it a thumbs up, that'd be appreciated. If you want to subscribe, absolutely fine. We'd love to have you on board, and you can get notifications of new videos that come out each and every week. So thanks a lot for your time, and I shall see you in the next video. You take care now. Bye-bye.